right, college football show, Chuck's Chat YouTube, joined as always by Matt Ferry and Ben Pounk. Before we get into the usual here, we'll read off last week's records. For the first time this year, Ben, best week of anyone, only one above 500.
I'm back.
At 9-8-1. 57. So at 9-8-1, you see how this week went. 57, 69
I
and
lost
2.
my lock though.
You did lose your lock. I was the only one who won my lock.
I lost my lock kind of bullshitty, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, Virginia. We can get into Virginia Tech blowing an 8-point lead with 3 minutes left. 57, 69 and 2, 45%, 4-3 on locks. Last week I went 6, 7 and 2. I'm 47, 50 and 5. I have more pushes than you two combined. I don't know how this keeps happening, but I have five pushes. 48%, 4 and 2 on locks. Ferry 3 and 8, 50, 43 and 1. Still 54%, and 2 and 4 on locks. Before we get into recaps of last week, anything you want to say about Southern Mississippi?
I didn't watch a second of that game.
I figured.
I couldn't even tell. I just kept checking it. I'm like, it's gone wrong. I thought, we had the right mindset with that game and the West Kentucky game, thinking, oh, Vegas is onto something here. I'm not, I know what you're doing, Vegas. I know how this goes. And then, nope. No, it's just they have me beat. They beat me a lot. And, that's how it goes.
Ben, you had Virginia Tech as your lock. We were watching that game together. Up 8 with 3 minutes left. Did you basically mark that down as a win? I mean, it's very hard.
I marked a lot of the games I loved down as wins last week. That and Texas were the two that really stuck out. They were the two I was debating between making my lock, and they both lost in humiliatingly terrible fashion. So it wouldn't have made a difference. It's just sad to see those two individuals specifically.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Oklahoma, Texas, because that was probably one of the greatest college football games I've ever watched in my life. I'm sure you two can both agree with that.
Yeah, we watched it together. It was a crazy game.
Crazy game. And I don't know if this is in the moment reacting to that game. If Caleb Williams starts, I sincerely believe Oklahoma can play Georgia for the national championship this year.
That's a big statement.
I think he's better than Spencer Rattler for sure.
I don't think Rattler's ever going to start a game for
I'm not going to
Oklahoma
say that. I'm not going to go that far yet.
Rattler's entire career is completely ruined. I mean,
go to
NFL,
West Virginia.
Anything. All right, let's.
No.
Austin Kendall. He left Oklahoma and then came to West Virginia, and then so Rattler go to West Virginia, then go to Louisiana Tech. It would be insane.
That's funny. So am I out of line for saying that with the way Oklahoma's looked so far this year? I think Caleb Williams is going to change their season.
He played like a half.
And I know we talked about it on Sunday how he hasn't played in 2 years. That was his first game in 2 years. Obviously, I don't know. It's just it's
adrenaline.
Tough. Yeah, adrenaline. I mean, no one's seen him. He's ready to roll. I mean,
was his first touch the 4th and 1 that he took like 50 yards?
I don't believe so.
I think
he played like a couple, like 2 or 3 snaps.
Okay. So Rattler's done. Probably will be playing for like ULL.
Yeah,
someone like that
Penn
starting
State.
next year.
He'll be playing on Tuesday nights.
No, I don't think he will. Are you kidding me? He'll definitely go to a Power 5 school.
It'll be like a lower tier Power 5.
You don't think a Power 5 team would snatch him up just to start him? He's a big name.
I guess.
I mean, who would want him?
Penn State.
Well, I guess relative to what we saw, I still believe Penn State's better than Iowa. They got fucked. If Sean Clifford stays in that game, they win by 2 scores. I know Ben, as our resident. Well, you guys both don't like Penn State, so any thoughts on me saying that?
I don't like Penn State. State Penn.
Oh, okay. So any thoughts on me saying that? I think Penn State's still better than Iowa. They should have beaten Iowa. They should have won by 2 scores.
I have no comment about that school. They are not very good. I think they're overrated. I think Sean Clifford stinks. That's all I'm gonna say.
I do kind of agree with that, but I saw an interesting tweet. I don't know if you saw it as well, but technically A&M and Oklahoma won with backup quarterbacks against two top teams. So I mean, you could.
I did see that on. I literally big game boomer right before we came on.
Yeah.
there
It's
was
probably
another
big.
tweet.
Yeah, I just remember seeing it, being like, "That's a good point." That Oklahoma
Well,
and
there was
A&M.
another tweet I saw that took a dig at what's his name? I can't think of the coach's name for some reason.
James Franklin.
Yeah, James Franklin. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name, but that's like he's like thought of as this great recruiter, but he can't recruit like a backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's tough to keep a backup quarterback though. When you have when you have the transfer window, like it should have been Will Levis.
I mean,
like it should have been Will Levis as the backup quarterback.
I mean, but Sean Clifford's like a junior or senior. I feel like they should have like a freshman that's like better than that guy.
Oh,
that guy
it's fair to say that guy was terrible.
Yeah, he's dumb. Like
it is. I agree. That guy was awful.
He
He was so bad.
Like,
he was like two.
Looked terrible.
Yeah.
That guy made him look like average.
Yeah.
That guy was one of the worst.
He was bad.
He was really bad. So I don't know what his status is for. I think they might be off. Penn State's off this week, so they better hope Clifford comes back and hopefully saves the season. Which who would have thought we'd be saying that last year? We need Sean Clifford back to save the season. Ben, if you wanted to read off your top 10 and you can do your winners and losers of week 6.
My top 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. So, number 1, I have Georgia, obviously. Number 2, Cincy. Number 3, Iowa. 4, Oklahoma. Asterisks if what's his name is starting.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Michigan, Kentucky, Michigan State, Oklahoma State at 8, Wake Forest at 9, and shout out Coastal. I'll give them a top 10. Always good. I'll respect them as a football club. And then if Oklahoma is starting Spencer Rattler for the rest of the season, I will bump SMU to number 10.
And Oklahoma's out.
Yes, they're just out.
Did you have Bama in there, or did I miss that?
No,
he did not have Bama or Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, these guys all have more wins than them.
It's fair. Fair point.
Okay, I can't argue.
They play the games
That's
for
a
a
fact.
reason. It's about wins and losses.
That is a fact that they have more wins than them.
And then winners and losers. So winners, the biggest winner, Georgia, obviously. Alabama's has a loss. I think they're very solidified at making the college football playoff. I'm going to throw a nod to my guys in Kentucky, the Wildcats. Big win this week against LSU and last week, coming really high. I think they're going to finish out the season with 2 or 3 losses at most. I think they're going to have a very good season. After Georgia, I think they'll just beat everybody or close to it. And then Ohio State, I think Penn State losing is big for them. I think they might win the Big Ten now. And then losers, obviously Bama, because they lost. They're or iffy. Penn State those are my 2. State Penn, whatever you like to refer to them to.
Yeah, Alabama first lost to an unranked team. There were 100 straight wins against unranked opponents.
First loss to a Nick Saban assistant.
Yeah,
that's true. Also,
everything must come to an end, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I'll throw in the biggest winner. They would have been in my biggest winner already if Virginia Tech had won with Pitt, specifically Kenny Pickett, because now he might be able to beat up Bryce Young for the Heisman.
And Desmond Ridder.
What was the worst? What was the worst loss? Do you think Western Michigan at home or Texas A&M on the road?
Western Michigan.
Okay. I just wanted your opinion. I don't know.
Well, wait, did you say worse?
Yeah.
Oh, Bama. I mean, Western Michigan was half of the team's fault. The other one was just both. They just didn't score, and then Texas A&M took a big lead.
Okay.
All right.
That's my opinion.
Okay, fair.
I
accept. I respect your opinion.
A man with a pit hat and a pit thing in the background.
Yeah, he looks like.
I'm unbiased.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a Pitt shirt also right now?
I have no agenda. No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. I thought that was also a Pitt shirt. Ferry, if you want to read off yours.
Yes, I got top 10: Georgia, Iowa, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, Alabama is 5, Ohio State 6, Michigan 7, Penn State 8, Oregon 9, Michigan State 10. So I guess you could say, based off my top 10, biggest winner in general is the Big Ten with how many teams they have in the top 10. I think obviously Iowa helps that. It's going to lead to a pretty interesting Big Ten title game, which will probably be Iowa, Ohio State. That would be, almost as anticipated as Georgia, Bama, and if not more, if Bama, since after the Bama loss. Biggest losers, I say Spencer Rattler is the easiest, biggest loser in this. Obviously, his career is pretty much is toast. But I also think BYU lost pretty bad. Been pretty high on them all year, as you guys know. I think losing at home, being up 10 already, like early, and then losing it at home to Boise State, who's 2-3, 2-4, like under 500. Not a good loss. Not a good look for the Big 12 in 2 years. Always thinking ahead.
This is retroactively a bad loss for the Big 12.
But Houston kicked the shit out of Tulane.
And yes, that is
Yeah.
that cancels out.
It's a mess.
And Cincinnati, yeah, and my statement about BYU is probably going to be contradictory later on based off my picks later. But all in all, we went this weekend thinking it was going to be a stinker. Ended up being probably the best weekend of college football all weekend.
Agreed.
I mean, Red River was just, I was
The noon games were like
the noon games really were.
crazy.
Yeah,
Ole Miss, Arkansas.
I'd rather not talk about that
I
game.
lost that
but
one
it was,
too.
Yeah, it was.
I had Ole Miss.
That was brutal.
I was getting screwed left and right Sunday or Saturday.
If I didn't have anything in that game, that would have been an amazing game. But hey, all in all, happy to have a good weekend.
I would have had a positive record on the show if you guys didn't convince me to take Ole Miss because I had Arkansas originally.
Yeah.
Well, Ole Miss should have probably covered. But
they should have covered.
I also had the over. You didn't take that pick.
It was the right bet,
I did
Chuck.
not.
It was the right bet.
Right, exactly. It was the right bet.
Yeah, Ole Miss is clear, just like Texas was the right bet.
It was.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I had
Plus
the over
3.5.
Oh yeah, no, it was the right bet. You're right. Okay, so Ferry, we actually I have 3 losers, and two of them were Rattler and BYU. So it's funny that we had that. Because BYU probably could have gotten a New Year's 6. They just went undefeated.
Yep.
Played Pitt maybe in the Citrus Bowl or something.
Mm.
My top 10: Georgia, Iowa. Even though they deserve the respect of being 2, but they're not the second best team in the country. Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Ohio State, Alabama, Kentucky, Penn State, because Will Levis is better than Sean Clifford, Michigan, and then Michigan State. When we're in Detroit, that game's going to be fucking awesome.
I can't wait. I can't wait to be in the atmosphere of that game. It's 2 top 10 teams. I would be in the atmosphere. What side are you guys
going to be on?
Michigan State, for sure.
Oh,
not even.
I don't know. I have maize and blue in my room right now.
In betting or as a fan? As a fan, I just hate Michigan.
Okay, so it's both for you.
I would wait. Where's the game? It's in East Lansing.
Right? Yeah.
I would probably take Michigan State. I feel like it gets weird in that stadium, like the grass and everything.
I could see Michigan State being plus 1.5. You think maybe pick 'em? It's probably gonna be probably pick 'em.
Pick 'em.
Yeah, could be pick 'em. Tease Michigan State in the under. My winners were I also had Georgia, Ben. I had Oklahoma because I think they can make a run for the national championship. Also, when I do say this, you guys have to factor in that the 2 national championship futures that I did place preseason were Georgia and Oklahoma. So take it with a grain of salt, but I do think they can get there and play for the national championship. Georgia, they're clearly the number 1 team in the country. There were some muddy waters before with people, but it's Georgia. They dominated, and Alabama. Texas A&M finished what Florida should have finished a couple weeks back. And then losers, Rattler and BYU, we talked about. And then I said UConn because now they're clearly the worst team in college football. You can't have losers of the week without the number 1 loser now official.
That game was so sad.
Yeah.
maybe the biggest loser of all time by the end of the season here.
Are they the worst
Yeah.
college football team ever? Or the best 0
That's
6
The best
college
0
football
6.
team ever?
Is the glass half filled or half empty? Okay, I
Are
don't
they
know.
the best or the worst 0 6 team?
Well, they've got Ricky Venuto's Yale Bulldogs this week, so we'll
Mm.
see.
Mm.
Yeah,
At
so
Connecticut.
at New Haven, or it's at
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Oh yeah, they're both in Connecticut.
Yeah, which
It's
is
at
it?
New Haven.
It's at New Haven. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so the big games for the week. I need to get back to my page here. So the big games of the week. Anything actually wrapping up last week first here? Any closing thoughts of anything you saw wanted to bring up that we have not touched on?
Mm.
Nothing.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got nothing. I mean, just Red River. That's all.
Red River.
Red River.
Red River. Red River. All right. Big games. Oklahoma State at Texas. Texas minus 5.5. Obviously, tough to blow a 21-point lead to your rival. They're now going back home. The over/under is 60.5. Ferry, Mr. Big 12. We'll start with you.
It's funny that I have this game on my sheet here, but I hate everything about the picks of it. I think 5.5. I have no idea what to do. If I had to pick, I would take Texas 5.5 just because I think it's just weird. I think it's a weird line. I think the over/under is high. I mean, but I would never disrespect the Big 12 and take the under, despite thinking that it's going to be under. Because OK State, they don't really score that much. You know, I think they can. I think they have a pretty stout defense. So I think the under would be the pick, but I just don't have it in me. I don't have the heart to take an under of Oklahoma State, Texas, especially only having so many games left of this matchup. I can't do it. So if I had to give a pick out, Texas minus 5.5.
All right. Ben.
I haven't really watched Oklahoma State much this season. I'm going to be honest. This is at Texas. I don't think Texas is that bad. Texas is the favorite, correct? Minus 1.5.
That's correct. 5.5. Yep.
I think Texas is probably sharp. I don't think Oklahoma State is really going to be like undefeated. I could see them losing big to Texas and kind of dropping back to where they'll probably finish, like probably 19 in the nation. I'll roll with Texas. Revenge week.
I like what you guys were saying because I love Oklahoma State and already bet them this week plus 5.5. I couldn't imagine a bigger letdown in the history of college football.
I was afraid of that. I was thinking that too, and that's why I don't like it. I don't like this one at all.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I haven't even watched Oklahoma.
It's very. I think what Vegas is trying to do is everyone saw Texas. It was like, oh, like they did blow a lead, but they look so good, up 14, 2 minutes in the game. They're going to come out at home. ... And then Oklahoma State's just going to punch them in the mouth. They can win this game outright. I don't think. I mean, this line seems very disrespectful to Oklahoma State.
I hope it goes up. I hope it. If we can get to 7, I'll easily switch and take Oklahoma State. So I'm going to keep an eye on that game.
Okay. Yeah. Next game, college game day again, going to Athens. Kentucky at Georgia. Ben, since you're the Kentucky guy, you love Will Levis. You love Coach Cal. You have a tracksuit in your closet. Georgia minus 22.5. Over under is 45.5. What do you think about this game?
So I've been betting. I bet both these teams, I think every week it feels like, and they usually both do well for me. At Georgia, I get they were a 14-point favorite against Auburn because they were at Auburn, but 22 seems like a big jump from the talent that is Kentucky, even though they're at home. I feel like playing the points with Kentucky is the smart play, even though it feels dumb when you place it because Georgia has been kicking the shit out of everybody. I also don't hate the under because they're both very good defensive teams, but I'll lay the points with Kentucky.
Fair.
I also am taking Kentucky. I think I've taken against Georgia most of the season. I've taken them. I took them in the Clemson game, and I took them in that big 50+0 game. But UAB, I took them against UAB. But then after that, I think I just keep rolling against them, thinking, all right, there's gonna be a game that they don't cover. Like they covered, I think they're undefeated against the spread, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe they are.
So
I believe they are as well.
Kentucky plus.
They may not have covered against South Carolina.
They may have not. Okay. Well,
because it was like 50 points.
yeah. So nonetheless,
But whatever.
20
Yeah, sorry.
22.5 is still like it favors Kentucky. Obviously, 3 touchdowns. So I think it's just it's got to happen. It's got to happen one of these times.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. The sides kind of scare me. If I had to make a choice, I'd probably just go the under 45.5. I don't think Kentucky's going to score a ton, but maybe they keep it interesting. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a weird.
Maybe first half Kentucky plus 10 if it's something like that. I was thinking that too, but I don't know.
Yeah, because Georgia's offense isn't exactly explosive.
It's not.
It's just their defense has been choking people out.
Yeah.
Also, going back to the backup quarterback thing, Stetson Bennett, having him around has been amazing for Georgia. JT Daniels has missed 3 games, and I feel like no one's even talking about it.
Yeah.
That's true. They just haven't missed a beat. Next game here, Florida at LSU, going back to the SEC. We have a lot of big SEC conference games this week. LSU plus 10 at home, over under 58.5. Ferry, is this the last game Ed Orgeron coaches at LSU?
I hope not. I mean, the schedule's crazy. The next, if you've seen it, it's like what, Florida, then at Bama, then at Ole Miss, I think, and then they have Arkansas, then they have at A&M. Like the season is brutal. But do you give him the respect? Because to finish the season like one of those situations, because obviously he's gone. But
yeah, I would let him finish the season.
I think out of respect, you let him finish the season. So to answer your question, no, I think he'll keep it going, just out of respect. But for picks wise, it's always weird to pick against LSU at home. It's always weird to pick against Death Valley. But my pick is going to be first half Florida if it can be under 7. So it's because what is it, 10.5? Is the game. So I like Florida if they can be up by a touchdown first half. I think that's pretty fair. So I like Florida first half.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Ben, what do you think?
I honestly don't care for this game at all.
Okay.
I don't like either of these teams. I'll roll with Ferry because I kind of like that too. I don't know what the first half line is. Probably like 6.5. So
if the game's 10, it's got to be 7 or under.
Yeah.
I like it 7 or under.
I'll roll with you, Ferry.
We roll.
This game will not be on my card though. I don't like it at all.
Very fair.
Yeah, I don't really like laying points with Florida, and LSU might be dead. I think Coach O's lost the locker room there. It's a sin. He was a fun caricature of a human being, and now 2 years later, this is where we're at. Maybe the over might be a little fun. No, never mind. Florida. Florida. I'll go Florida first half with Ferry here.
Let's go.
Auburn at Arkansas. Arkansas minus 3.5. Over under is 53. I sent this in our group chat earlier today. I totally forgot this happened. It got brought to my attention. Bo Nix last year, time running out, fumbles the snap, spikes it behind himself, which should have been a fumble, doesn't get called, and Auburn ends up winning the game.
Auburn's going to win the football game?
Auburn, yes. And then, so Arkansas got screwed. Now Auburn's going to Arkansas. Arkansas minus 3.5, over under is 53. Ben, now that you've heard all of that information.
I like the over 53. I think both these teams can score. I don't know which is going to win. I could see Auburn pulling upset, so I'll just roll with the over.
Ferry.
Exactly the same. I have on my card over 53 or 53.5. I think Bo Nix has to show up one of these games, right? He's got to show up one.
He's
time.
really bad on the road.
He's bad, but he's got to show up one time, all right? Just one time. Put some points on the board. I lose by 20. Put some points.
I really like Arkansas here. Sam Pittman strikes me as a big revenge guy, so he wants to make up for that loss last year.
Arkansas minus 3.5 too.
Awesome.
I might add that come day.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm interested to see how the line moves from 3.5 because I don't like. We all know we don't like the half point there. Wrong side of a football number, but yeah, Sam Pittman strikes me as we're not fucking losing this team again. we should have won last year. We're gonna get them. And Auburn, I think there is something too. You play Georgia, you play not as much Bama this year, but Bama teams in the past where they just physically beat you up. And Arkansas was more so in a track meet, just two different styles of play. Your meeting will end in 10 minutes.
I've never got that message before.
Okay. All right.
The shot clock on.
Yeah, the shot clock is on. I guess I could always record too after, if whenever this runs out.
Yeah,
That's weird that happened because you have
I've never got that message before on any of the other ones.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Next game, Big Ten, Michigan State at Indiana. Indiana is +3. The over/under is 51.5. Ferry, we'll start with you here.
The which one? I'm sorry.
Michigan State at Indiana.
Oh, I have Michigan State -4.5. I am tired of overthinking Michigan State. They've had between 4 and 5, 5.5 points every single game. I gotta take Michigan State -4.5. Not even gonna think about it anymore.
I'm also rolling with my Sparties. I've been betting on them a lot this season. They've done well for me at most games. So I'll roll with them here.
I forget what I had here because I did. I already bet it, but I forget what the line was. I bet Michigan State -3. They should kill Indiana. Their running back has Kenneth Murray, 900 yards and 9 touchdowns in 6 games. I feel like he's not being talked about enough. Indiana in the bottom half of the Big Ten in rush defense. Indiana's kind of dead already.
Yeah. Michigan
State has way more to play for. Love Michigan State here. And then, we're on to cards now. That was the last of the big games. So whoever wants to, Ben, if you want to start us off.
Sure.
Or are you're still looking for games and your lock?
No, I just added a game I forgot to put on here earlier, but I can go. So week 6 picks. I was gonna take Lafayette tonight. I never ended up doing it, so I'll just cut them from my card.
I hope you don't look at the score right now.
Oh, they up big.
They're up 20-3 in the first quarter.
Mm.
Okay, I'll keep it on my card because I did take that about it. So, Lafayette +4.5 versus App State. Georgia Southern +3 at South Bama. Clemson at Syracuse under 54. I think that that's going to be low scoring in the Carrier Dome. Boring
I
Friday
agree. I
night
have that
football.
as well.
Pitt -4.5 at Tech. Pitt at Tech over 57. Both have been hitting for me a lot. Pitt overs. UNC at Miami, I believe. Or no, UNC versus Miami. Over 63. I don't think UNC plays defense, but they just score on everybody. Michigan State -4.5. Set already. Army +13 at Wisconsin. Also the under 39, very low under, but I love it. I think both these teams are not going to score. Good rush defense against a team that only runs, and then Wisconsin offensively is terrible. NC State -3 at Boston College. Rutgers -2. I got it a +1. It would be my lock, but I feel like that's kind of corny because we all have it. UCLA +1.5 at Washington. I know that's going to be Chuck's lock, probably. Sorry, the Rutgers pick.
Fuck.
I hope he doesn't say +1 like a cornball. But Baylor -6 versus BYU. I think BYU season's over. I think Baylor's going to kick the shit out of them. Sorry, Barry, last week for it. They kicked the shit out of your team. Oklahoma -10 versus TCU. Asterisks if the backup starts. I forget his name still. Purdue +11.5 at Iowa. I think this is a big letdown spot for Iowa. I don't think they lose, obviously, but I think Purdue can lose by 10. Kentucky +23.5 at Georgia. Also the under. Said those already. Ole Miss +3 at Tennessee. I think Ole Miss wins this game. I think they're very good. I think they just got caught off guard by Bama. Arkansas -3.5 versus Auburn. Also the over. UTEP +6.5 versus LA Tech. I really think they went outright this game. I'm going to take the money line. Oh, no, they're at home, I believe, not at LA Tech. Nevada -14 versus Hawaii. Hawaii's off the island. I think Nevada whoops their ass. Texas -5.5 versus OK State. Why not? And then
It's a
the
bad
spread hasn't come out yet, but UConn minus against Yale.
Okay. All right.
That's my card.
I like how you're just like, I have no interest in this Florida LSU game, and then your first pick is like Georgia State at South Alabama is your first pick.
No,
Or whatever.
Georgia
Love this
Southern.
game. It's my favorite game of the week.
I didn't say that. You're just adding words to my mouth. At least quote me accurately.
Ferry, your card.
I already said Michigan State minus 4.5. Don't think about it. I'm going to take the over. Like I said, Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky plus 22.5. Despite what happened 2 weeks ago with my Purdue lock of the week, how much I hate them, I said I was going to bet against them every single week the rest of the way. So even though I hate it, minus 11.5 Iowa, huge letdown spot. I hate it. But spiteful gambling is the worst thing you can do. But I'm still going to do it because that's what we do
I
here.
respect it. Yep.
Purdue is coming off of a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this. There's everything against my pick. I just hate Purdue for what they did to me.
This pick was almost my lock, Purdue.
You see, I can't play a lock again with Purdue. I won't do it. I can't do it. So out of spite, I hate the line. There's 10 reasons why I hate this line. So I'm going to take Iowa minus 11.5.
Is Southern Miss on your card this week?
No, they were dead to me as well. So I refused to take that. I saw they were playing another shit team or whatever. I was like, yep, they're both 1-4, 1-5. What is it, Old Dominion? Or some other shit. No, that's Western Kentucky. That's the other team that fucked me last week too. But I'm like,
no, they lost outright. That's right.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was tough. But nonetheless, gonna keep going. I'm gonna take Baylor minus 6 as well. I think BYU is tough. I mean, obviously, Baylor beat a pretty interesting team last week pretty badly. They're gonna give a nice welcome to BYU to the Big 12. I have Bama minus 17. I think they come out hot. They have to come out just ready to roll after losing hard. Minus 17 is always a classic Bama line to take. This is, Ole Miss through Tennessee. I'm sure you guys saw the lines. I'm sure you guys saw the total. 82 is up to when I checked.
Oh my God.
82. We're in this business for a reason, guys.
I'm not adding that to my card.
I cannot look at that and be like, well, I gotta take the under. So I'm not. So I'm gonna take the over 82. That's why we do this. It's for the love of the game. I wanted to take Kansas State, Iowa State, something. So I don't know. I've always liked Kansas State in night games. I think Manhattan's a great home crowd. Iowa State's not that team this year, like everyone thought. So Kansas State plus 6.5 at home.
Agreed.
I almost made my lock. I love Nebraska first half against Minnesota. It's probably gonna be like 1.5 or something. I think they're gonna be up on PJ Fleck because he's also dead to me because of that Purdue game. I think Nebraska's looked good obviously this year despite some early season struggles. Nebraska plus 1.5 first half. It's what I'm assuming 1.5 because it's like 3.5 game. I like the Florida first half, like I said, if it's under 7. I like Oklahoma minus 13.5 against TCU at home. If what's his face is playing, Caleb, whatever his name is. Caleb Williams. And then I think, I finally got to do it. I think Pitt minus 5. I think this show's got a clean sweep. West Virginia covered, Notre Dame covered, Pitt's got to cover. So the show's going to clean sweep covering against Virginia Tech this year. And,
pressure's on, Ben.
Pressure is on.
Sandman.
That is tough, but it's not a night game, Sandman. So that's why
you guys got off easy. So my card, Oklahoma State plus 5.5. We've talked about. Michigan minus. I don't think is Michigan playing this week. I may have wrote something down wrong. It was Michigan State minus 3. It was that pick. Oklahoma minus 13.5 against TCU. Nebraska minus 2.5 against Minnesota. Some of these lines I wrote down on Sunday night, and then some of them I wrote down today. So if you see weird lines, that's why. Nebraska minus 2.5 at Minnesota. They might just beat bad teams and play really good teams competitively and lose. And I don't think Minnesota is very good. Syracuse, Clemson under 45.5. Cincinnati minus 21. I think UCF's going to have a lot of problems scoring. I did already bet this game. So Cincinnati should kill them. Baylor minus 6, a unranked home favorite against a ranked opponent. You either always take the system or you never take the system. You can't pick and choose when you take the system. So got to rock with the system. Alabama minus 17.5 for all the reasons Ferry said. I also like the over 58. Bama's probably going to put up 40. So hopefully Mississippi State